Gentlemen, the Constitution says what our roles is. What is our role?
I know.
Member of Parliament, you legislate.
Oversight.
Oversight.
And represent, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What is the role of the women rep?
The same.
What is the role of the senator?
The same.
My argument is very simple. Why is it that you are given money which you're handling under NGCDF? Why? Wait!
Without any backing.
Me to make my argument.
Backing.
You saw the other day, they said the government has 20,000 ghost workers. I am also saying nobody today can give me the figure of how many teachers we've employed. We don't have that figure.
I think we should know.
So my argument is, no, let me finish my argument, Mr. Ruto.
Why would you say that? Even if
let me say that. Yeah, have you ever seen the list of all the total number of teachers?
I haven't seen it.
Thank you. That's my argument. My argument is most probably half the number are ghost workers.
No.
Oh, yes. No. Allow me. No. Allow me. No. Honorable Yamita, yeah. you just joined government. No, what I'm saying is this. If the figure isn't there, why am I not getting it?
I think Senator Onyonka is completely out of order.
No.
To come and make populist
without
any backing.
To make my
without
argument.
Any backing.
You saw the other day, they said the government has 20,000 ghost workers.
The truth.
It is there. They did not tell you that those...
Them are teachers.
That's what I'm saying. Who presented that? Nobody did. Number two, my argument is very simple. Gentlemen, the Constitution says what our roles is. What is our role?
I know.
Member of Parliament, you legislate.
Oversight.
Oversight.
And represent, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What is the role of the women rep?
The same.
What is the role of the senator?
The same.
My argument is very simple. Why is it that you are given money which you're handling under NGCDF? Wait!
No, it's okay. Carry on.
But let me make my argument.
Finish your work.
My argument is very simple. All of us have got the same job description. We either agree that we are going to leave handling public money and we oversight government so that we can get results, or give everybody the money because that is where the kitty is. Okay. And that is where the money is being shared.
I want to hear from...
It is almost an impossibility for now to go on zero-based budgeting. It is our wish. But the journey towards zero-based budgeting must begin at some point. Why am I saying so? Look at the commitments that were done, and I've had the privilege, Senator Onyonka and I served in last parliament, and we were in that very, very committee. If you look at the commitments that the government has done over the years, for example, under the road sector in itself, the famous Mau Mau roads, is costing the taxpayer almost over 100 billion. And it is a commitment that has to be factored in. And we have committed resources. We do not have. That particular set of roads is only in one section of the country. If you were to execute that in one particular year, other places would be crying that they do not want. So what is it that is a prudent thing to do? Is to try and achieve a bit of a balance. Let those ones go on, but let also other regions get a bit. Therefore, you cannot actually go on a zero-based budgeting. We have debts, which, to be fair, whereas this government has also incurred a few some debt over the last 2 years. But the real issue is that the debts we incurred over the last 10 years of the Uhuru Kenyatta regime. Because when Kibaki left, we were almost towards a zero-based budgeting. It would have been possible. But the 10 years that followed, there was heavy lifting. There was a lot of borrowing. And because government exists in perpetuity, they had the commitments that we actually made, we have to honor them. And because we have to honor them, the taxpayers have to bear the cost of it, sadly, for that matter. Now, speaking to the 700 billion, which is available for purposes of development, I actually pity my good brother John Mbadi, because if he has 700 billion on the demands of this nation, listen even to members of parliament, including all of us here. When you listen to Ruto, you listen to my sister here in our constituency. The things that they want the government to do in my own county alone is more than 700 billion. And when I speak to them, they are all priority. I want roads, I want electricity, we want water, we want all those sort of things. And that applies across. But the basket is only 700 billion. Then when you say, okay, let us also increase 1 or 2 taxation here, of course, the Kenyan person is now heavily squeezed. is saying they're raising up their hand that we cannot tax them any further. So the 700 billion, if you were to ask me, would be to put it more in infrastructure that is going to help in growing the economy. Like roads, which is opening up regions that enables goods from the farm to the market.
Right.
Yeah. So if I were sitting in John Buddy's place, is that money I would put it into critical infrastructure that is business enabling. And I actually seconded that motion on the floor, which was seeking to consolidate all the bursaries from all the quarters, from the presidential bursary, NGCDF, and all the other bodies of government that are actually giving out bursary, including the money for help that is actually being given. And she was seeking that, we consolidate this into one kitty and whatever. We called the Minister of Education to Parliament and said, and members didn't have a problem letting go of the bursaries and consolidating them. But when the computation was actually done, even if you consolidated all those resources together, it is still not adequate to provide for free education according to the Minister of Education. So when you say it, let me tell you, if we were to consolidate, and if we were to consolidate all the bursaries into one kit, and we are guaranteed that our children can go for free education from primary to university, we will go on holiday, because that's the biggest headache for us as leaders. And we wanted to do that, but it is not adequate. Number two,
who is supposed to assure us?
Sami.
Sorry? No. What I'm saying, we checked on the amounts, because all you need to do is look at the total allocation that is for CDF, which is about 20 billion, take away 40%, because you cannot allocate bursary more than 40%.
So sorry, the allocation for CDF is 20 billion. The total kitty?
I'm talking about the total kitty for the whole, I'm saying 50 billion, about 51.
Sami,
51 billion.
Yeah.
Yes.
So 51 billion, you can only allocate 40% of it. So 40% of that 51 billion would bring you to about 20 billion thereabout. Okay? So that 20 billion, if you took, because sometimes you might think that it is a lot of money that is there, but it is only 20 billion. So if you took 20 billion from CDF, pick the money that the counties actually allocate, pick the money that is under presidential bursary, pick the money that is under GAF, which is far much less, and consolidate all this together with the money that is actually being given to the Minister of Education. And we asked them, can this be able to fund then free education from primary to the university? And it was inadequate. And we said...
Sami?
Sorry, Senator. Did they tell you how much it would cost?
Yes, they did. I just don't have the figures exactly, but yes, it was not. Actually, when we consolidated that, we would still fall short of close to 35 to 40%.
Thank you,
I don't have the exact figures.
Already that particular...
But allow me to land, Senator. I agree that the best way would be if devolution were to work. And my good senator here who oversights counties will agree with me. CDF in itself, and I can say, today take it to the referendum to the people. The people will say you retain CDF. And that will be a referendum that the people will win with about 90%. And I'll tell you why. And I support, let me just land. I support that money needs to be devolved to our institutions, and we make our institutions work, including the county governments. In fact, even if we could take 50% of national government money and take it to the county so that it works, that would be great. But let me tell you something, Sam, something that people are also forgetting. Today, walk around our counties, and my good senator here oversights them. Walk around our counties. Our counties will struggle to show you ECD classes. ECD classes. They will struggle to show you a single ECD class.
Have they allocated resources for them?
Yes, they have money.
Sami, can I?
They have, just hold on. So you'll find that they're struggling. So whereas we will be supportive of money being devolved.
Is CDF succeeding because of the presence of the
less pilfering,
or it's the structure?
In fact, look
it's a structure.
UDM Act.
Let me tell you. Even now, with the subsequent, when the case for CDF has been in Parliament has been in the courts for a long time, and every other time, when CDF actually began, members of Parliament used to walk with a check in their pockets.
True.
They used to actually walk with a check in their pocket. So they would go for a rally and they say, okay, you want something, we write for you. it has since moved that the member of parliament in himself does not even second someone to the CDF committee. We don't have a role in the new law as it is. And that is actually what was said.
Okay, Mheshimiwa Ruto, you wanted to make an
office of the member of parliament. It's a treasury function with the board sitting in Nairobi. And that board has decentralized the powers to the NGCDF committee, which also by law have been guided, or now they are going to be identified in line with the constitution. So true to say is that I don't understand as to why you want to kill something that is visible to the lives of the people as far as education is concerned. Number two, if we say today we collapse NGCDF and put money to counties, have we started by correcting the constitution fourth schedule and give those roles that NGCDF or NGAV is addressing to county governments? Because NGCDF is focusing on basic education from primary level all throughout to the higher education. Whereas the issues to do with any other service that is provided under fourth schedule has been totally removed, including even sports. There was a time NGCDF was supporting sports and youth, but by virtue that is a function that is evolved, it has already, and Senator Onyonga is aware. To the extent, I want to know, and in any case, this budget that is put under CDM, is it a budget that touches on division of revenue? Because whenever division of revenue is being discussed, if you look at the build-up of division of revenue, it critically allocates resources as per the functions of devolution. Whether they are enough, whether they are not enough, that is something that should be discussed. But if you look at the division of revenue, it's trying to address the critical fourth schedule of the constitution that is giving the 14 functions to devolution. And is aligning, costing it every other element in terms of the formula that is being provided. And now it's going to be shared across the counties. Of course, that formula will be able to dictate in line of in terms of demand. So I wanted us to discuss and agree. The only issue is what is the evil in decentralizing the national government functions to the constituency level.
Because that is not the structure of the constitution.
That's not the structure. Thank you.
But I'm asking this.
Sami.
Look at this is decentralization, and there's a body organ undertaking this function, and NGCDF vote, which is a saga under the Ministry of Treasury.
Sami, could I? Sami.
See, Mheshimiwa Ruto, that's your argument against a court.
But that's what the law is saying.
A court decision.
What court was prosecuting was
things have changed.
Hold on. Population has remained the same.
Mini CBS.
Hold on, has remained the same.
No.
My argument.
Population is growing.
But the change in percentage is 4%.
That is over 20 years ago.
No, it's 4%. Difference is 4%. Allow me to make my argument, please. My position is very simple. Let us take the money which is given one ministry, where you find, I am also saying nobody today can give me the figure of how many teachers we've employed. We don't have that figure.
I think we should know.
So my argument is, no, let me finish my argument, Mr. Ruto.
Why would you say that? Even if
let me say that. Have you ever seen the list of all the total number of teachers?
I haven't seen it.
Thank you. That's my argument. My argument is most probably half the number are ghost workers.
No.
Oh, yes. No. Allow me. No. Allow me. No. Honorable Yamita, you just joined government. No, what I'm saying is this. If the figure isn't there, why am I not getting it?
I think Senator Onyonka is completely out of order.
No.
To come and make populist
Yamita,
without any backing.
To make my
without
argument.
any backing.
You saw the other day, they said the government has 20,000 ghost workers.
The truth remains.
It is there. They did not tell you that those...
Them are teachers.
That's what I'm saying. Who presented that? Nobody did. Number two, my argument is very simple. Gentlemen, the Constitution says what our roles is. What is our role?
I know.
Member of Parliament, do you legislate?
Oversight? And represent, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What is the role of the women rep?
The same.
What is the role of the senator?
The same.
My argument is very simple. Why is it that you are given money which you're handling under NCDF? Wait!
No, it's okay. Carry on.
But let me make my argument.
Finish your...
My argument is very simple. All of us have got the same job description. We either agree that we are going to leave handling public money and we oversight government so that we can get results, or give everybody the money because that is where the kitty is. Okay. And that is where the money is being shared.
I want to hear from...
So when, for example, forget about even this issue of CDF. When there is a road...
Please repeat that. You just said.
When I oversight projects that are actually happening in my constituency funded by the national government, I do it on behalf of the National Assembly. That is why if I go to my constituency, for example, now, so for example, when I go to my constituency today,
yeah.
So we are going through a budget process. They will allocate money to construct a road from Stella to Gogo, for example, in my constituency, which is 500 million.
Yeah.
There is a contractor on ground, and the contractor is ongoing. So when I come from National Assembly, I have the information that the contractor has actually been paid for doing 5 kilometers. When I go to my constituency, I can even drive and check whether that 5 kilometers has actually been done. When I find that that is not done, I come back with that information to the National Assembly through a question on the floor of the House, through a statement, or I appear through...
Is that oversight or representation?
Both.
Both.
Which are my roles?
Can I...
For it. And including the upkeep. And sometimes, you know, this mileage is only for going and coming back. But sometimes I'm there for like a whole week. So I have to pay a hotel for my people to spend in for that period of time. I have to cater for their meals during that particular time, all out of my own pocket. We had actually made a proposal to SRC at some point that forget about giving members of parliament the mileage. All you do, give us a vehicle.
That's what
allocate us an
driver.
off-road vehicle, give us a driver and a bodyguard,
and then
just like the ministers, just like even the principal secretaries, just like senior government officials, including directors have. They have a GK vehicle that is fuel and serviced by government. They have a driver who every other time when the official is going out, he's actually assigned where they're going to be accommodated. We don't want to bother ourselves really chasing these small claims. And people thinking that members of parliament are only there to pick money from the exchequer.
But your driver and bodyguard are employees of the government, right?
No. That's what he said.
The driver is not.
Who pays them?
In the salary that we are paid.
We pay them. For example, the allowance, okay. My office is facilitated to employ a driver. I get money to employ a driver. But that money does not...
Sorry, you get money from where to pay the driver?
From Parliamentary Service Commission.
That's what I'm saying. It's an employee.
No. So listen to me. What I'm saying...
Paid for by public resources.
All I am saying, we get money to employ skeleton staff in our office, including a driver.
Yeah.
But there is no provision now for a night out. For example, when I go, because I employ my driver, he's based here in Nairobi.
Okay.
So when I travel with him, and I'm with him for a whole week, and sometimes my driver is not, even if he's from the same constituency, he could be coming from a far
And you feel that accommodation is not catered for?
It's not that I feel it is not.
But how then do you explain MCA's claim is 77 shillings per kilometre? Claim for members of parliament is 152.6 shillings per kilometre. And a kilometre is a kilometre.
It's because from the SRC, if you look at that circular, the vehicle that they allocate for a member of parliament is about 3,000 cc and above, and the MCAs is only up to about 2,000 cc. So it's about the vehicles. Kuna magari na kuna magari.